That's definitely a chosen one. The first person who came in automatically hit that like button. Definitely one of them ones. Get them likes up for me. Really appreciate it. Hit that like button. Really appreciate it. So I see it's a few chosen ones in here tonight. Or y'all just clicking on the title because of me. Or the video because of me. Y'all ain't liking. I only see 2 likes, 11 people in here so far. Bat, shout out to you. Hey, you here in spirit, bro. You gonna receive this contact out through the phone. Speaking it, so tap in, y'all. Come on, hit that like button. I know I ain't said nothing yet to piss y'all off for y'all not to like it or something. But I really ain't got nothing to talk about, honestly. I ain't had nothing to plan. I never have nothing really to plan to talk about. Unless I'll title it like conspiracy theory or something. Then that's like, even then, that's super broad. So I usually just go off the top of my head, or whichever way the conversation go. That's where we headed tonight. And since I titled it "Chosen Ones Tap In" like shit, then this should definitely be an interesting conversation if y'all commented tonight. But if it's just me, then I guess we're gonna just have to go off that. But hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I really appreciate it if you would. Shout out to Curtis coming through again. How's the weather out there where y'all at? We in Vegas right now. It's 85 degrees out here, so that ain't bad. Come on, hit that like button. Y'all the chosen ones like y'all say y'all is. Hit that like button for your boy so it can reach more of them. It's hot in Houston. Hey, I fuck with Houston. I think I've been there probably like once to Houston. Nah, I don't think I ever been to Houston. I've been to Dallas. I've been to Austin, Texas. I don't think I've been to Houston yet. Exactly. Like, come on, chosen ones. I know y'all in here. Hit that like button. The sativa mind coming through once again. Appreciate you. This is like the Batman call and shit. That's all I'm doing. Trying to get a interesting conversation going on tonight. You said, "Oh, you don't fuck with Dallas? Damn, I fuck with Mo3 though." Goddamn angry today. My baby mama pissed me off. Hey, now you in the calm spot. It's the calm spot. I used to have baby mama issues, but I don't no more. I mean, when you got custody of like all of your children, except for my oldest son, like shit, I don't be having no problems with her. So you know, exactly. I don't want to hear that shit. Come on with that, go on with that negativity. I don't know. What you gonna give up weed for? What's wrong? Do you think weed holding you back, Mr. Everest? That's what it is. You think it's like you could be operating at your highest potential if you like cut back on the weed? I'm gonna let you know it ain't true. It ain't gonna happen. It is the last one again. I'm not giving up on weed unless weed give up on me. And I don't see that happening. Fuck that shit. This is the only thing that really keep me sane. The most goes out to single mom. Hey, being a single parent, ooh, single mom. Shout out to Tasha coming through. A single mom like that's doing her shit, taking care of her children. Yeah, salute to that, to her. Shit, being a dad too, it's a 2 parent household. Like, and that should still be getting hectic. I think I need my mom to be sharp, but hey, I'm not into numbers like that. Well, I am honestly. I'm into numerology, so even though it ain't got nothing to do with people's money and shit, like I don't see how we like. I don't know. Try it, see how it goes. Like do like a 30-day break and see like how you operating. Yeah, but I wouldn't just say quit it though. I'm not, I don't like that bad influence. Like, oh, so you and your baby mama just got back together 2.5 weeks ago, and now you it's like, damn, why I do this? Like, why I get back with her? How long was y'all separated though? Well, if she getting help, that ain't no single mom. You getting help. I mean, then again, we all need help though. Like so, but if she doing like most of the work, did you go stick to yourself all this one? By all means. But yeah, I wonder what this conversation is gonna be headed tonight. Like off this trip, I did some meditation. And, like I ain't had nothing popped up in my head. I'm like, oh, I could talk about that. All that popped up in my head was the title. Chosen ones tap in. Like so, since I ain't get nothing, I can't really go off like any one certain topic. So whatever y'all want to talk about tonight, it's gonna be on y'all tonight. I'm just here showing up every single day. But yeah, I don't usually have baby mama issues no more. Like once I kind of woke up, I was still having them here and there. And then like once I woke up some more, it was like, the fuck I look like having problems with like anybody. Like so, I realized shit as I changed myself, they began to change too. So like it was all for the better. So and then like I ended up getting custody of my other 3 children. So for sure. But I love just talking though about certain shit. So whatever the conversation, the last comment that I seen, like that I remember, shit, that's what I think. That's what I'm thinking about. Let's talk about some aliens and shit. Some fuck it, it don't matter. But Thomas said he got his 11-month-olds down. Yes, man. That early age of 11 months was they up in the middle of the night. Woo, changing diapers. I changed every single last one of my kids' diapers. I was never one of them dads that just were like, "Oh no, you the mom, you take care of that." Nah, I didn't help raise all my children at least. Well, my oldest son, he's the one who I didn't raise at all. Like he's always been with his mom, but I tried to be there as much as I possibly can. Like so, I've changed his diaper a couple times when he was a baby, but it wasn't like what she did. So shout out to his mom for doing her job. Like being a great mom too. Like so, she about to graduate. She about to get her bachelor's. So, hey, she's showing him a right way to go. Like she's being that good influence on his life. So I ain't got nothing but like my hands out for her. Makes me think she must be in here. Shit, I don't know. She must be in here just hiding. But yeah, like I said, what we talking about tonight? It's on y'all. I want to talk about some conspiracy shit. I want to talk about some Hollywood, fucking what? We want to talk about music, industry, entertainment, It's on y'all. I gotta let the weed kick in before the shit just start rolling off my tongue. Like so. Hmm, what's been going on? What did I see throughout the day that I could talk about? I know it's something. I don't know if I shared it in my community post or something, but something caught my mind. I mean, my eye today that I wanted to talk about, but it's just I don't know. Can't think of it. Oh, the post on my community post. I don't know if y'all seen it, but it's something 50 Cent shared today about how the sheep are scared of the wolf, but in the end, it's the shepherd, the one that's eating the sheep. So the sheep spend so much time being afraid and being fearful of this wolf, but yet the one that's seemed to be loving and taking care of them, like, is the one that's in the end gonna take them out. Crazy. Like when I was in church, this when I was in the military or just got out the military in North Carolina, I was in church and the pastor had told me, or the bishop, whatever we want to call it, so he had told me that I was a wolf in sheep's clothing. And at first I'm like, wait, what? What I had like got from it at first, like when he said I was a wolf in sheep's clothing, I'm like, he seen me as like the outcast. Cause it wasn't like I was like doing like shady shit in church either. He was like, man, I was trying to be like a real good Christian. But I guess he seen my spirit. It wasn't, I wasn't no sheep. Like everybody else he had in his church, they were sheep. They was just followers. Like so when he seen me, like I never wanted to work out with them. Like I never wanted to I never wanted to like do church shit with them. Like none of that. Like I just wanted to like just go pop up on Sunday and like that be it. Like but nah, like he when he told me like I was a wolf in sheep clothing, like I kind of took it as disrespect, but at the same time, I'm like, what do he really mean by that? Like, so ever since he had told me that, I stayed in that same church for like 2 or 3 years after he said that, and I'm like, once I finally left the church, it finally clicked. I'm like, oh, now why I get it. Why he was calling me a wolf in sheep's clothing, like, cause I wasn't his flock. Like, I wasn't. He seen that. He probably noticed that I seen through his bullshit. Like, cause I was always in my head like, man, these people in this church kind of brainwashed. Like, he got them doing everything, like paying for it, like the shit. How what I was experiencing in that church, I'm like, man, this some cult shit. And like when I finally left, I'm like, man, fuck all of this. Fuck the marriage I was in. Fuck the church I was going to. I said, fuck all of that. Fuck North Carolina. I moved back to Gary, like on some shit. Like, who moves back to Gary? But I was tired of this shit. So that led me to Las Vegas, where life is going in my way. Like, but in my 20s, I was just fucking that shit up, just fucking it up, thinking with my dick. That Kevin Gates song just popped up in my head. That's exactly where I was, what I was on. Now I let my instincts and my gut lead me. Fuck all that other shit. Ain't nobody commenting tonight. Y'all kind of quiet tonight. I guess y'all just leaving it on me to talk about some shit. Well, since y'all leaving it up to me, what else was I thinking about today? Hmm, I know I posted this mushroom. Did y'all know that mushrooms was the trees before trees, right? Mushrooms used to stand 24 feet high, and like the world was covered with them. Like honestly, we all evolved from fungi, kind of like consciously wise, like, and to know like people be like, you lying, or that's fake. I'm like, just do research. Like the fuck motherfuckers do not research. They'll think what I post is fake news, and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers don't even go look for yourself. Is that a blunt? I was just listening to my sisters. I always thought about you. Yes, this is definitely a blunt. Tobacco is wacko. Oh yeah, man, I shared a video on my shorts today with a black dude explaining what cigarettes like. He said cat booty juice. Like it's something that exact term that he used. But when I first seen that video, it just blew my fucking mind. Like on some comedy shit. Like I just couldn't stop laughing because my mind just started going to every single person I know who smoked cigarettes, and he was like, I call them drag. Like he called people who smoke cigarettes dragons because the shit they blowing out is toxic. I'm like, that shit was hilarious. Like, so I don't do nothing but weed. I don't drink alcohol like that. I might drink wine here and there, but I don't do Percocets. And oh, I do psychedelics. My bad. Definitely be tapped into the psychedelics. But all I need in this life is sin. It's me and my weed. So I got bad nerves. So if I don't smoke, my shit, my whole day be just kind of low key ruined energy wise because I just be feeling anxious energy all day, nervousness. And I'm like, I ain't even no nervous person. Like, what the fuck? But if I don't smoke, that shit, you know what it is? It's probably, now that I think about it, right? Because overall, I'm not a nervous individual. I'm not even though I have PTSD, like, I'm dealing with that. Like, but when I don't smoke, it's like anxiety is big with me. Like I get anxious all of a sudden. Like I get nervous all of a sudden. Like nerves seem to be bad. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably just feeling other people's energy. And weed is a way I suppress that energy. Because the other day, two things had happened. My wife was like worrying about some shit, so I was feeling her being worried. And I'm like, babe, stop. Like, cause I'm like, I feel it. Like I feel worried when my loved one is feeling it. And then my homeboy like had texted me and he was worried about some shit. And like, I'm like, man, I was feeling that shit too. Like, so I'm like, people need to stop worrying, especially when they attach to me because I start feeling it. And if I don't smoke, I'm gonna get kind of like mad because I don't have no other way to deal with that energy. Like, so I'm like a sponge, empath wise, like where anybody who I love or I'm attached to family wise, like I'm gonna get their energy. Like I'm gonna feel their energy. I'm gonna hear their thoughts, shit like that. It's real. Like, so we usually have tobacco in our spliffs. It's expensive smoking blunts. Dang, it's expensive smoking cigarettes out here. Hey, I wouldn't call them fans, man. Just call them supporters. But I was talking about how I want to visit England, like in one of my other lives, like the other day. Definitely want to go to England, London to be exact. So, but I was watching. I think it's called Top Boy on Netflix. I think Drake produced it. He did. Like it's a pretty good show, and it's based in London. Like so. How's the weather out there though? It was somebody here from the UK yesterday. But how much is y'all? How much is it for a blunt though? Because it's pretty cheap out here on the West Coast. But in the Midwest of the United States, the shit gets more taxier. It's probably because it's still illegal. So I'd be taxing too if I was like could risk my life on some shit like trying to sell this shit. But they like hopefully they pass this bill where like they decriminalize marijuana get across all 50 states on the federal level. So some people are saying, "Oh, that ain't gonna happen. They're gonna oppose it." I'm like, that's you speaking negative on the shit. Like, think positive for one. Like, God damn, we all need this weed shit. Fuck it. And people definitely need to be released from prison that only was selling weed or like had weed like uh whatever it is they had. That shit is like weed does not hurt nobody. I remember. I think it was 2015. Yep, 2015. Right. I had stopped smoking weed for like in my military. I stopped smoking at 18 because I had to go into the military. I didn't start back smoking until I was 25. So I had this job at the casino called Mirror Star and like back home. My cousin Twinkles came over like I think that was my first time seeing her in person. Her and her mom. Well, not her mom, but she had came and we smoked in my grandma's backyard before I had to go to work. And I'm a chef on the boat. So I get to work and 50 Cent shows up. 50 Cent is at the hotel. Well, he's supposed to be at the casino that day that I'm working at. Like, so it felt like I was feeling his energy. Like, I was literally like, because I was such a big 50 Cent fan. It was like, where kind of felt like I was feeling his presence there. And my fucking manager's like, he comes up and taps me on the shoulder and he's like, Kenneth, like, you're moving super slow. Like, you need to, like, pick it up. And, like, in my head, I was moving fast, but I was just so high. And, like, I was just so, like, man, I hope I get to meet 50 Cent tonight. And I didn't. Like, but, yeah, like, I was high as fuck that day. And, like, when I started back smoking after that, 7-year break, man, I used to get super high, just all one blunt. Now, fucking, I telling how much many blunts I can go through. But $20 an eighth, that's not bad though. It ain't like the ounces, yeah, that's not bad. But the fact that it's illegal, I ain't about to be spending all my money on some illegal shit. But when I was in Indiana, I was my and the 3.5s out there was like 35. Oh, yeah, question. Supposedly we living in the Matrix reality world type shit. What's up there with you? Should have been here, Jarvis, the other day when I talked about that. Are we living in a simulated reality? But I'll talk about it tonight again. You know what I mean? Like shit, my shit is authentic. What I speak and say is authentic. It ain't gonna change. I think we kind of technically is off the strength of like how you think about you'll think about some shit, right? And it'll pop up on your phone on Facebook. Like so that's obviously a simulated reality. Shout out to Mob Nasty coming through. Like so, cause like how does that supposed to work, right? I'm thinking, or I'm having a conversation with somebody, and next thing I know, I'm scrolling on Instagram and there's an ad. Like so, that's some like technically some simulated shit, cause that's not supposed to happen. Like so, that's just one instant. Like, but just law of attraction and your thoughts creating your reality. Like, how does my thoughts, the things that I think about on a daily, how does that appear in my life all of a sudden? Like, of course, I know I work towards it, but like I've manifested a lot of shit by visually seeing it and then it happening. Like, so I'm gonna say this is a fucking simulated reality because the way my life's set up, everything goes in my favor. Like I think things and they come. Like so, hey, it should like. I think the reason why weed is legal, honestly, because they know how it can help a lot of people, and they've already locked up a lot of people and made all some money off people who they locked up in prison. So they like, man, we already been making money off of it. Shit. Either way, they might as well just legalize this shit. But like you said, in your lifetime, is that the question? It's still illegal in Indiana, but it's legal in Las Vegas. So, but it's ill. I mean, it's legal in Illinois too. So, like where I'm from in Gary is like 30-minute drive to like Chicago, which where it's legal. You can go to the dispensary out there, buy weed, and go back home. Like so, shit is fucking stupid, right? They say united we stand, divided we fall. Yet we got Democrats and like Republicans that's divided. We got states that's divided. Like ain't none of this shit together. Like religions that's divided. Like none of this shit is built on like standing like together like shit. But once again, united we stand, right? But America is I ain't gonna say we undefeated, but we are the bullies. Like so, whatever we say go. We like the smallest country too. We like America really powerful. I was in the Marines. Like, America is really powerful. I'm trying to put my light on because it's about to get dark out here soon. All right. I'm definitely a champion of like weed being legal. Like, so if I was to go into politics, well, there wouldn't really be no need to go on for weed in Nevada. It's already legal out here. But I do plan on going into politics. So, but it'll be for like some like education, like for my children. Like I'm going into politics so they can have like better education system. Cause right now the school system in Nevada is like trash to me. So I want to change those things around. Like it should be that the education system focus on the children's strengths, not grades and like tests that they don't give a fuck about. Like they're not gonna ever face those. I mean, like deal with that shit out of school. Like so, if you focus on the kid's strength. Let's say that kid is good musically, and like you only focus on things surrounded by music. Their whole 12 years of schooling. And if they want to like learn some other shit, of course, but don't make that fucking history shit, social study, like that shit is pointless. Like you ain't gonna ever fucking deal with that shit outside of life. So I will go into politics one day. But with the people vote for me, that's the thing though. They probably like go to my YouTube and like just pick up half the shit I said and like turn it into sound bites to make me look bad, but I don't give a fuck. I stand on everything I say, so yeah, pitch black. Oh, snaps. 3 a.m. out there? It's 6:53 p.m. See that I love rainy weather too. Like so, it don't rain that much out here, but when it do, I'll be like loving it. I'll probably like buy a house in like Portland, like or somewhere in Seattle, but I probably wouldn't live there year round because I think Vegas is like one of my spots. Like I could live forever. Now I've already lived in like shit, North Carolina. I was born in Georgia. Moved to Wisconsin. Moved to Georgia. I mean Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Then went to the military. Moved to North Carolina. So I've lived in hella different states, and like Vegas is the place. I'm like, yep, I can do here for forever. Go for the rest of my life, low key. It reminds me of Egypt. Like as far as like my past lives, this reminds me of like back home when I was a pharaoh in Egypt. So being in the middle of the desert, like shit. Low key, I am like a royal pharaoh. Like I ain't like no multi-millionaire yet, but like shit, I'm building myself up there. Yeah, I definitely found my home. Like so, some people like stay put and never like leave and go experience nothing else, and like they think that's it. But if you just step out, you just travel, go out on faith, walk out on faith. Like fuck it, if you fail, like keep trying. You'll be successful in everything you do. Like shit, that's what separates the great people. Like they don't give up. They just keep trying and keep getting back up every time they fall. Like so, I done failed hell of time so far since I've been out here. I done lost family members. I done lost like friends. Like, but it's all been in the benefit to me, like to become this person I am today, where I don't need to depend on nobody. Like so, like for me to be in this position today, where I can take care of all my children, like I'm my bills is taken care of, like my channel is growing every single day, like I'm married to like happily married, like everything is going in my favor. And if I don't got something now like that I want, I know it can it's gonna come in the future. Like so, it's like I know I'm in the right spot. I damn sure ain't getting out of this lane. I definitely am not about to leave Vegas and go back to any one of those places I lived in the past. Like so, I understand the importance of just keep moving forward no matter what. If I'm up in life or if I'm down, just keep moving forward. Like so, it's times where shit I felt like everything was going in my favor, and like tried to enjoy it as much as I could, just because I knew like it was gonna be times where the shit wasn't going in my favor, but I knew it wasn't gonna last forever. Like so, oh yeah, I've been Manchester been popping up a lot, especially the soccer team. Definitely, it's travel, man. I went through the military. Now, I mean, first, I come from a traveling family, so my grandma would always take us on trips every summers, and it just wasn't in the state of Indiana. Like so, every year we would go to Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Oklahoma. Like just we would just always go because it was a family reunion when we had like so my grandma would all since she worked in the hotels. I think she had it figured out. She worked in a hotel like the Holiday Inn, so she always got discounts at any hotel. Like and then like shit, she had money coming in because she had adopted us, and so before she had adopted us, we were her foster children. Like so, she's getting four different checks from like the government to take care of her own grandchildren. Like so, she's working on top of that. Like so, she's taking. It wasn't like she was just being stingy with the money. Like that's why I never knocked it. Like how we grew up. Like even though we had one bedroom, we didn't get the clothes we wanted. Like we were shopping at the thrift store and Goodwill. which had name brand clothes. Like that's the whole thing. Like it had name brand things, but it was just like pre-worn. Like so, I never truly knocked it, honestly. Like so, like as I get older, I realized like, oh shit, like even though we grew up in a hood. My grandma, well, my Gigi, who we lived with, she owned her house. They owned their vehicle, so I grew up around ownership. My Gigi never worked at a regular 9 to 5. She cleaned white people's houses because that's what she grew up doing, but she was like very successful off of it. So, like, she had A1 credit till my grandma fucked that up. Like, so it was some fucked up things within that, but overall, like, we were always traveling. So when I said got to 18, I'm like, I'm going to the military. I for sure gonna travel when I go to the military. So soon as I got I ain't, I'm about to say soon as I got drafted, but soon as I joined in 2008, I went to boot camp in California. So ended up being there for like for total. I was in California for probably like 6 months total, 5 to 6 months. Then that's with training. I was like I was fucking always fucking gone, like just visit, like just throughout my whole life, I always just been gone. Like so, once I got out of boot camp and my training, I went to Virginia like for 3 months for cook school. Then that's when I moved to North Carolina, and, like started fucking up my life, like fucking up my life. So from what I got to North Carolina in 2009, finally left in 2015. So from 19 to 25, I was just in North Carolina. So I wasn't traveling that much. I was always just, oh, well, yes, I was when I was in the Marines. I was fucking deployed half the time. Like, so my, my first deployment was with the Navy on the ship, and we was just going around like the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. So we stopped in Italy. We was there for like a week. Like, so, and then I was in Jordan for like 30 days. So I was famous for football. Oh yeah, I definitely. I'm not that into soccer or football. That's what y'all call it. We call it soccer out here. But I know who some of the people are in it. But yeah, I failed in life for a long time before I like said, "Fuck it, I'm going back home." Like shit can't get no worse. Like I just dropped something. I don't know what the fuck that was. Oh well, it don't look like it's important. But once I came back home, like shit, just hit. I felt like I had to hit the reset button. Like came to Vegas, and it's been like headed north for me. With its downfalls, like shit, man. When I moved to Vegas, I thought I had the dreams of becoming rich and famous. That was the goal. Move to Vegas, I'm gonna be rich and famous like my brothers off YouTube. Like so, I got here like, and this is the plan I had, right? So I be telling people move to like wherever you want to move, but make sure you have a plan. Even if that plan doesn't work, make sure you have a plan. Like so, I'm like, all right, here's my plan. Me and my wife said we're gonna move when we get our taxes in 2018. Like so, we got our taxes for what around February 2018. So we moved here in March. So we had probably around $10,000. We didn't have no jobs lined up or nothing. Like what we said, we was gonna find a job. I was a dealer at the time, so I'm like, I'm gonna find a job on the strip easily. My brother did. He had told me about it. So I'm like, if I don't find a place to live, hopefully my brother lets me live in his guest house. So off the back of my head, I'm like, well, he's just gonna let me live in his guest house because his house had just got broken to. His mansion that he was living in got broken to by some kids. So nobody was living in the guest house. I'm like, oh, perfect opportunity. Like, even though I didn't talk to him about like staying in the guest house, in the back of my head, I'm like, he's gonna let me live in the guest house. So I was right about that. Stayed there for 8 months. In those 8 months, I lived like basically I was rich. Like even though, but the money wasn't from me. Like the lifestyle wasn't from me. It was on him. Like so, and I started waking up in that time, like living in his guest house because I didn't have to focus on having a job. Like I was basically leeching off my big brother. Like so, I didn't see it like that back then. Like I just seen it like I'm gonna blow up off YouTube, become rich and famous, and like we'd be good. Like cause I seen both of my, like I said, I seen both of my brothers do it. So I'm thinking I'm the third one. Like why should not I'm handsome too? Like shit. So like I was just thinking how it worked out for them is it was gonna work out for me, and that's not how it happened. So I end up me and my brother got into it. No, first he had told me I had to go. Like so he had put us out and I found had somewhere to live in Vegas in the hood. It was like the hood where I had to move. It was like imagine living in the mountains in the mansion for like 8 months. Your brother say, "Hey, you gotta go." So I'm like, "Fuck it." I'm not about to argue. It's his shit, right? So and I had lived the lifestyle I wanted. Like I had got up to like 30 some thousand followers on Instagram. Like so I thought I was popping, thought I was known. My YouTube it wasn't took off, but because I wasn't consistent. So once I left his house, moved to the hood, I stopped being in his YouTube videos, which was like at the time like I was in my brother's videos, and like from March 2018 to I say October 2018, all of those videos was like hitting like 3 million views, 4 million views, five, six, like millions of views. Like so, I was basically like manifesting everything that I said I wanted when I wanted to move to Vegas. But here's the thing: when I said I wanted to be rich and famous, like I said, I thought it was gonna be like off my brother, like basically giving that all to me. Like I ain't think like I had to work for anything. So once I'm like, fuck, that's not. Like I said, I was waking up to my own bullshit. I'm like, man, first of all, Kenny, you can't keep just leeching off your brother because you have kids. You have like I had what 6 kids at the time. Like so, I'm like, I can't just have him like just taking care of me that because that's not enough. Like because my brother wasn't even though he was paying me by like letting me stay with him. Like he wasn't paying me like thousands of dollars like while I was there because I was actually working for him. Like I was the cameraman, like shit. I was trying to help with ideas, like shit. I was there every like to go to. I was the assistant, the personal assistant. I was all of that. Like so, I wasn't getting paid like financially like that. I was just like getting paid to live there, and I'm like, cool, fuck it. He was giving me all his old clothes, basically the hand me down clothes that I was getting as a kid. He was like, I was an adult, and I was still basically like still living like that. Like so, I was getting all his old stuff. Like, and I was happy with it because it wasn't like he wore it multiple times. He's one of the people he gonna wear it once, and like you won't ever see him in it again. Like, so I'm like, fuck it, cool. I'm getting designer clothes. I'm driving like nice cars, eating at nice restaurant, in the club, VIP, like 2 times in like one weekend, like back to back. We had the and if you ever came to Vegas or if you ever been to Vegas, one of the best clubs you can come to is Dreas. Like this is where all the stars come to like every single weekend. Like so when I came out here in 2018, my brother's birthday, like they had Nelly, which is his favorite, like his favorite rapper of all time, and then they had DJ Esco the night before, which was Future's DJ. So he met Nelly on his birthday, so I was able to be there like VIP, the table that's right next to the stage, like popping bottles, standing on the couch and shit. Like so, like everything I had like was basically like visualizing in 2017, saying, "Hey, I'm a pop, like be big on YouTube. I'm gonna be famous and rich too." Like it was like I had got a piece of that, and then the universe was like, "Now you see like what you like want. Now you got to get that for yourself." Like so, once he had told me I had to go, I had already I had told him like, "Hey, we're gonna be moving out. I'm just waiting on my check from school because I was in college." So I'm like, once that come, I'm gonna find my place. So he had beat me to the punch by telling me, "Hey, you got to be going on this day." So I eventually found a house the same day he had told me I had to go, and it was like I said, the hood. So man, the shit had crackheads, prostitutes just walking across like in the street. Like it was such a bad area. Like before I moved from there, I was only there for like around there for like 8 months, but they had shooting at least 3 shootings, and the last shooting, like that one was like, somebody died because they shot over 20 shots, like right across the street from like me and my family house. So I'm like, man, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. But like I said, it went from like being living the best life to like going back to the slums. But I'm like, I was already developing the mindset of like of who I am today. Like I was already like thinking I was wealthy, like mentally. Like I was already reading books like Think and Grow Rich. So with everything I went through that was negative, like I was looking at it from a positive perspective because like I had already kind of like figured out the secret. So like listening to Nipsey Hussle like helped me get through times like when I was living in the projects out here in Vegas, and like in like shit, just going through like those tough times like shit, and just hoping, and not just hoping but like knowing like better days was gonna come out, knowing like I was gonna be back in the position where like shit, I'm living my best life, but this time it's on me. Like so like with me and my brother had got into it, like it was like that end of the like chapter or the end of the TV show series, like where like I'm leaving out the mansion, the door closed, and like he's there with his family. My grandma was there too, and like you could tell like it was like a TV show how everything was playing out. So I'm like, man, now I'm in the best position I could ever be in. Overtime is one overtime. I'm telling you, overtime is one of those songs that got me through that shit. Like shit, I'm telling you, Chevy Pump. Exact man, I can tell you, I can break sing a whole goddamn album right now. So, what I had experienced with my brothers, like that was 8 months of my life. Like that was just 8 months. Like before then, my brother was like he never like gave me anything much like that. Usually it was like when I was in the military, I was the one who was like helping him. Like I was giving him money. Like it was literally I had bought he had a SpongeBob car, and like I was on my second deployment. He like sold it to me. Like so I bought that, and like I had to fix the car while I was buying it. Like so I spent more like around $10,000 on that SpongeBob car. As soon as I got home from my deployment, it ended up getting stolen. Like so, and I never had got nothing back from that. So like when I had moved to my brother, I'm like, well, I guess this is my payback, like shit, because he had never refunded me like that money. So I'm like, cool, like shit, charge it to the game, right? But now like shit, that was in 2018, like shit. I Now I'm in a whole different position, like where I didn't like did that had that experience myself like times, I ain't gonna say times 10 yet, but I done did that myself now on my own dime. I just wasn't recording it. I wasn't on YouTube like doing daily vlogs. I wasn't getting millions of views on YouTube. Like none of that. YouTube is now finally taking off because I wasn't consistent. Like that was my biggest thing. I was never consistent. So now I'm consistent and I post every day. Like if I just imagine if I had did that when I first moved to Vegas, my success would have been off the strength of him. Like so, he would have been able to say, "Hey, I put my little brother on YouTube too." Or he would have been able to throw that in my face, like to tell me I wouldn't be nothing without him, like on some shit like that, because he's one of them people. Like so, for me to be in the position where I got almost 30K on my own, not being known as my big brother's little brother, like I'm definitely be always patting myself on the back, because like shit, y'all know how hard it is to get subscribers on this motherfucker. Like so, but once you consistent and you do this shit like with a plan, the shit gonna work out. Like literally, it's always gonna work out. So Yeah, I definitely would like to get some property in Vegas. I mean, I say Vegas, but Texas. Like, I definitely want to visit Texas more often. Like, it's pretty cheap out there. Hold on, yo. Can't wait till I get over this fucking cold. Like, shit. All this mucus shit. I'm supposed to be taking sea moss, but that shit, ugh, that shit stink. I don't know how people do that shit. I can't take nothing every single day that's like, ugh. But I'm trying to work on my health. I'm trying to eat healthy. Like, but I rarely do. I I I'll say I eat healthy probably at least like 10 times out the month. Like I consciously try to eat healthy. Like, but I'm not no vegan. I'm not no vegetarian. Like I still eat McDonald's. Like shit. But I do like try to consciously eat at least a few times out the month. I need to drink more water, honestly. So that's what I need to be doing. Oh, you good? I know it ain't a lot of people commenting, so you probably kind of feel like shit. I gotta keep the conversation going. But that's how I started on the podcast, though. Like in 2018, after me and my brother had gotten into it, like we had a big argument, and I'm like, fuck being a YouTuber. I need to do something else, and that's what I started the podcast, Positive Minds Only. Like shit, that's when I wasn't too much saying what I was going through at the time. But if you, I haven't even listened to my one of my old episodes in a minute. I need to do that. Like so, I was just going through the shit. Like, but I was having a positive mind only. Like that was the affirmation that I had told myself. No matter what, keep a positive minds only. Always think positive. Like so, I actually, like embedded that shit in my mind by just having that as my podcast and like always telling people, hey, I got a podcast called Positive Minds Only. Like shit, I was always sharing and like seeing it. Like so, I really developed that positive mind. Like so, anything that I went through, good or bad, like I see why I went through it. So I mean, I see why I went through it. So I definitely need to drink more water. But the simple fact that Marines kind of fucking ruined that for me. When I was in the Marines and just in boot camp, I ain't even gonna say my whole career in the Marines. Like they had us drinking so much fucking water in like the first couple weeks we was there. I guess to try to flush out any type of drugs we had in our system and shit. But it was like, damn, I hate water. Like, man, I experienced this one instance right in the we drinking water and this guy like acts like he's drinking, but he's spilling all the water on the floor. So the drill instructor sees this, and they run up to him and say, "Oh, you think you slick, huh?" So they made him get on the fucking ground and told him to do the vacuum cleaner. And you know what that is, right? Motherfucker had to suck up all that fucking water on the fucking floor. I'm like, man, this shit is crazy. The shit I experienced in my life could really be in a fucking movie, TV show, definitely. Like so, been pretty lit though. My shit ain't been kind of boring. I ain't just grow up in the suburbs like with a mom and dad. Shit, I ain't had none of their ass. But I always had me though. One thing about it, I always been there for myself. I seen him tell this dude to beat his face and to do push-ups. That was the times I had to hold in my lap off seeing some shit really built my bearing up. Cause that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to build our bearing up, but like this half the shit I seen in boot camp was like, what the fuck? This shit is crazy. I was the only black guy in my platoon too, so it's like 86 of us, and like the majority, I'd say 90% of them is white. Then you got Mexicans and a few Asians. I was the only black guy. I had a white senior drill instructor named Sergeant Reyes. I had a Mexican, I think, well, let's just say Hispanic. His name was Sergeant Reyes. Then I had a white one named, uh, wait, I said Sergeant Escobar, Sergeant Reyes, and Sergeant Buck. I had those three. Sergeant Buck was the dickhead. Sergeant Escobar, like he was the cool one, the laid back. Then Sergeant Reyes was the senior drill instructor. They was all sergeants. So like I kind of had it pretty cool in boot camp because I was the only black guy. They didn't want me to pull that racist card. Like so when we had to clean every fucking day. We had to clean our barracks. So my job was to spray the cologne. So I was the pimp juice recruit. So all I would have to do is like walk with a limp and spray the cologne. And I thought it was kind of racist, but I'm like fuck it. I ain't gotta clean all this shit. So shit was definitely had some experiences. Suck up water through. Shit, that motherfucker. You ain't had no choice. You couldn't quit once you got to boot camp. You don't want to look like no bitch. Like shit. Most people quit by like not fucking doing the pull-ups or not finishing the run. But nah, it's like once you got to through those doors in boot camp, it was like you already signed up for this shit. Ain't no point in trying to fucking fake it. Like ain't no point in trying to go back home. But here's the thing. There were two dudes that's from Gary, Indiana, that I know personally that went to boot camp, Marine boot camp, and they both dropped out. And one of them told uh, my brother that I was fake being sick, and he dropped out. But I did 4 years. Like so, it shows how people talk shit, and like you will finish, and like the motherfuckers didn't even make it to the end. But yep. I caught pneumonia in boot camp with both of my lungs. Like shit was damn near about to be checked out. This bitch. I wouldn't change my boot camp days for nothing though. Like, that definitely got me out the hood. Even though I was making a lot of bad decisions, like off the strength of being a teenager with money, like not no responsibilities, I really fucked up my life a lot. But I fixed it though. Like so, if you still in your 20s and you feel like life not even just in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. If you still got breath in your body, you feel like you're not in the position you want to be in, like you always got time to like fix it. Like shit, you not stuck in the position you in now. This is only a moment. So shit, even though I feel like I'm in a good position in my life, shit, I know I could be in a better position or it could be not better then. But shit, I'm only thinking of positivity and thinking of moving forward and higher. So even if in the future my lower levels will be higher than this level right here. Like so, hey, it's all about how you look at life. Shit. Peaks and Valleys is a good book y'all should read. Check out. I think his name Spencer Johnson is the author. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I definitely found my home in Las Vegas though. Well, in this, at least in this area, Henderson, Vegas, West Coast. I'll say I ain't moving back to no fucking cold. That's exactly why I got this fucking cough right now, because I went to Indiana seeing my son for like a few days. It was all rainy, gloomy, and fucking cold ass weather. Shit, it even snowed today. Came back to Vegas and it was like 70 degrees the first day. I'm like, God damn. That's the same thing that got me sick when I got to boot camp. I came from Indiana and it was raining all week. And when I got to sunny California, shit was hot as fuck. Alright, if you decide not to join the army, like shit, hey, by all means, don't do that shit. Like shit, the only reason I did was to get out the hood. Like so, if I had an option to like move and I would have been good, like been able to get out the hood, I'd have took that route. But shit, it only benefit me today, so it was like I went to the military because I still wanted to be like a baby. I still didn't want to take care of my responsibilities, like so. It was like going into the military, like I still had parents that was taking care of me, like so. All I had to do was like go to work. Cause they did everything. Shit, they gave me the barracks to live in, like shit. Gave me the clothes to wear to work, like shit. Like provided everything I needed. So and then gave me 2 checks. So like I thought it was cool the lifestyle like I was living until I got out 2012. She was like, "Up, now it's time to be a man." That's when, like I said, I started fumbling and like, well, I was fumbling before by not even saving, not preparing myself, like so. Got that turned around though. So it's 77 degrees out here right now. I think in the summertime it's gonna get up to 120. Easy, easy, and that be on the daily too. Like so, I damn sure ain't gonna be in this car for sure. That'll be a real hot box. I don't know. I'll probably try it once. Need to lose some weight anyway. Well, I ain't out of shape or nothing, but still. To know, like, I used to always work out in the military and I never got a six pack, like, that kind of, like, made me not want to work out no more. Like, if I, knowing, like, I couldn't ever get a six pack. Shout out to Tony Red coming through. Hey, Dogecoin is up 5% today. Who invested in crypto in here? Today is a quiet day. Today Thursday, huh? What synchronicity numbers do y'all be seeing? If y'all don't know what that is, it's like numbers like 1111, 222, 333. I'm seeing 77 right now. I'm seeing a bunch of sevens. I usually see 1111 every single day. 444, I see that one a lot too. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of 333s too. But Some people think that's a coincidence. Other people think it's angel numbers. Like, shit. Other people think. Other people don't even see that shit. I ain't start seeing it till I start waking up. Like, what the fuck I keep seeing 11:11 for? Then I had to do my little research. But I definitely been seeing them us for like the past 4 years. Pain and damage caused. Yeah, I mean it did a number to a lot of people, so it did his number to me. But I'm kind of like getting paid off of it, so I'm not mad. So like, I don't have to work another day of my life because of them, like because of the military. Like so, I'm cool. I don't want to work with nobody no way. But being a father and taking care, like having 6 kids in the household, I be thinking sometime like, God damn, women really do got a fucking like a heavy burden like with raising children. Like when I be in the house just a couple hours by myself with my kids, I'm like, damn, I could. I don't know if I could do this like for like 24/7. Like, but to the women that does take care of their children, like, and they children are being raised well, like, I gotta shout out to them type of women for sure, cause that shit is not no joke. It really do take a village to raise kids, man. Especially when you got fucking TV trying to program them, school program on them, like music, TikTok, social media. Now, like, man, like to raise kids, was it this hard for us? Like for us being raised? Like I don't think so. We ain't had that many obstacles. Like, but I grew up in the hood though. Like, so I seen motherfuckers getting murdered, seen drugs. I used to look up to the drug dealers in my neighborhood. It was one guy in particular who I looked up to. His name was Tone. When the Dodge Magnums came out, like he was one of the first person in our city who had one. Like so, like every time I would see him, like he would always compliment me on my shoes. And of course, I would compliment on his because he always had like the top everything. Like so, he had the gold chain and stuff. Like, and he was like a dark skin. He was he was a hooper too. Like he was a basketball player. Like sold drugs and like was the man. Like so, I used to just always want to keep my appearance up just in case I seen Tone. Like so, like I wasn't inspired by like I ain't had no real dad influence on my life. Like shit, he died when I was 11 in prison. So, like if he was in prison, like if he was raising me, the shit probably wouldn't have been the best for me. So, knowing like shit, I was low key raised by my grandma's Gigi in the streets. Like shit, that always gave me a more mental edge above like shit. Even when I went through boot camp, like I knew I had like something over them. Like I had already seen a person get killed in front of me. Most of them people who I was in boot camp with, like probably still never experienced that because like shit, they didn't even join the infantry. They wasn't no infantry unit. So like I already seen shit like traumatized too. Didn't even know it, but I I guess I was built for it. So it was. I ain't had no bad childhood. I actually had a great one. Felt like I was kind of privileged too. Like so shit. Like I got no choice. Like some people say, oh yeah, even I know my siblings will sometimes say what we were we grew up poor. I'm coughing. There's probably some one of them in here right now. Like they would say we grew up poor off the strength we grew up in the hood. We didn't have. Jordans. Didn't have the name brand clothes and shoes like we wanted. But for our grandma, or for our Gigi to own her own home, the house was upkept. The yard was always magnificent because she had us. We was always going on trips. Never went to sleep hungry. Like our clothes was always clean. Like so, I kind of did grow up like being silver sped. I mean, I said silver sped, but silver spoon sped. But we only had one. Like we was sharing one bedroom. Like it was a 3 bedroom house, but the kids had one bedroom, and it was 5 of us. Now I say for like the first 6 or 7 years, it was only one bed. So my older sister got the bed. So we was sleep. I was sleeping on the floor for years. Like, but I ain't mind because there was carpet on the floor for one. The house was clean. It wasn't no bugs or nothing. Like shit. Our friends would always want to fucking spend the night. Like shit. And I never understood why till I got older. And I'm like shit. Oh, it was because we kept our shit clean. But yeah, like we will always have people spending the night. People, our friends would try to spend the night the whole summer. My little sister friend spent the night the whole summer one year. Every day she never went home. And I'm like, girl, what the fuck you still here for? But like I said, now that I'm older, I'm like, oh shit, I understand why. But yeah, we definitely kind of grew up with money. We just didn't have like they wasn't giving us the money and shit. Like they wasn't giving us allowance. Hey, shout out to you coming through. Renaissance, Renatillion. Let me say this to see if I can say it. Renaissance. My fucking elbow just fucking rolled down the window and shit. Thought these halls would make. Thought the halls would make me stop coughing. They didn't. But it's probably the smoke that just keeps circling. Rena Scant Line. Rena Scant Lion. Hmm. What made you come up with that name? Shit, I came up with positive minds only because I'm like, shit. People keep saying positive vibes only, but they ain't really positive vibes. So I'm like, I want to at least say something like I can say I came up with that shit. Positive minds only. Just switch the vibes and the minds, and I'm like, I got a positive. I can say positive mind. Means reborn. Oh shit, that's what's up. My name Kenneth L, and it means handsome God. So that's what my mom named me. So she ain't even know Hebrew Israelite. I used to be mad as hell that like she named me L until I realized what the meaning was. Oh, but she's like, I love El DeBarge. I'm like, bitch, I don't listen to El DeBarge. I ain't call my mom a bitch, but I'm like, I don't listen to fucking El DeBarge. Yeah, that's a dope name though. I'm a Pisces, so I don't like calling myself a fish. But I used to always say Jonah was was swallowed by a fish. So if I'm gonna be a fish, I'm gonna be that motherfucking fish. But I don't even believe in the Bible, right? But that's when I was a kid. I was telling my shit, dumb shit like that. It was a fish that swallowed Jonah, and Jonah stayed alive for 3 days. Why shit are you happening again? Oh, it did with Pinocchio. Why you call the chat chosen ones? Because I know that's who I attract. So I attract the chosen ones. It's already people who woke, already people who got knowledge and wisdom. I can always have deep conversations with those that are like minded. So I ain't saying I'm a chosen one, but I know I attract those. So if you feel like you're a chosen one, that's why you're here, right? You wouldn't have clicked on something didn't resonate with you. But I feel like it's a. I used to always say, "How is it chosen ones?" And it's a bunch of y'all motherfuckers. Cause I see everybody saying they the chosen one, but I kind of understand like shit. They the chosen one for their family, and not just for their family, but for their area. Like Nipsey, he was a chosen. I just was about to say Nipsey was a chosen one. Like Nipsey was a chosen one, like for his not just his area, but for like the world. Like, but it was a reason why he was put in like Crenshaw, Crenshaw and Slauson. Exactly, Ryan. But like I said, I know I got some type of knowledge, some type of information that people can benefit from. So I'd be a fool to not like share it. And that's what I do. I spread those messages. But like I said, my name is Kenneth L. Like that's my birth name. So me, like I always will research it off the strength. Like shit, handsome God. Like that's another affirmation. I know I'm one of them ones. I just don't be claiming it. I'd rather people like see it for themselves. Like, cause I low key like kind of dislike when people like are bragging, saying, "Yeah, I'm the chosen one. I'm this and that," but they don't live up to that. Like, so ain't nobody in here said they was the chosen one. When they came in, they just clicked on the video. Like, so that's all that need to be said. Like, shit, there's definitely a lot of sleep ones though. Definitely got that 20 likes tonight. Really appreciate that. What's up? What's your local? Nah, he from L.A. What? You don't know who Nipsey is? Oh, of course, London. I mean England. You gotta check out Nipsey. I done posted a lot of his shorts. I mean, on my channel. Like I posted just positive minds only. Type Nipsey Hussle positive minds only. Pretty sure you can find something that can inspire you. Nah, you good? Like I understood. Like shit. You want? Oh shit. He's the one. Like, he's one of them ones. He passed away what, 3 years ago. I hate spitting this shit. Yeah, so I want he if you like lyrical rap, he's not like the most lyrical, but he's the realest. He, telling you, his music can help you make at least $50,000. Like low key. In the first, I say the first year I like started listening to nothing but Nipsey, no other rapper. Like I tuned in all other rap. I made like 50K that year. Like so, pretty. I made of course more than that, but just off the strength of listening to his music, knowing like music manifests, that shit goes hand in hand. Like I want to manifest at least half the things that he manifested in his life. So he was talking about manifestation a lot. Spoke some things into the universe, and then they appeared. But he said that on Victory Lap. I'm like, oh yeah. But yeah, that Mailbox Money mixtape that he did, 2014, I think. That one got me through the struggle. Like for real, that one got me through the struggle. And the interviews he did. Like so, thank God he was one of those people like who didn't like hide the game. Like shit, he really gave the game up. So he gave the blueprint up. You ever heard somebody say the marathon continues? Like that's Nipsey. Well, if you ever heard me say it, is the marathon continues? That's because of Nipsey. Like so, get on your marathon and run it till it's over with. See, sometimes you need people like who's like ahead of you, so you can see where to go, like where you can go, like or what you can accomplish. So when I seen Nipsey do what he did, he reminded me of myself, and like it helped me, of course, like get to where I was trying to go in life because I seen him do it. Like so, I seen he didn't have to sell out he didn't sell his soul for rap. Like so, and he was one of the biggest, but he wasn't the biggest until after he died. Like that's the most fucked up part. Like he blow up as much as he could have while he was alive. So I'm always gonna like speak highly of him. Do you listen? Haven't listened to the when I watch the show Top Boy, like that's when I hear the English rap and the grime. But I haven't listened to anybody in particular. Like, but they do be going in. What I do be hearing, like I do be like this should go hard though. I just don't know any of them in particular. So I took another sip of the THC juice. Like so, I kind of feel like that hitting in, like kicking in. Probably kind of been kicked in, but I kind of just feel it more now. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna visit England. YouTube is gonna pay for that. Watch. YouTube gonna pay for. I ain't gonna say YouTube gonna pay for everything because YouTube is just another income. But if I do this right, I could easily bring in an extra $1,000 a month off this YouTube channel. Like so, even though that ain't a lot, but to have an extra $1,000 that I really don't gotta work hard for, like shit, that'll pay for some extra trips. Or I just keep reinvesting in my channel, like shit, just blow my channel up more and more. But I'm not a person who gotta depend on a YouTube check. Like I already have income. Like this is just extra. I realize I can get paid off doing this shit, so I'm like, fuck it, let me monetize my channel. Like, so I'd be a fool to just be making YouTube videos and like not profiting off of like my work. So gotta put the work in now by getting on live every single day because that's what built my watch time hours up. Like I went from like 0 on January 1st to like now I'm at 24, like 2400 some watch time hours. So that's pretty well for me, like just getting on live almost every day. Like, so I say I've been on live probably around like 95 times this year. Like shit. So that's a lot, I would say. And it's been getting my watch time hours up, of course. And I've been having interesting conversation, been meeting interesting new people. Like so. And I'm always learning something new when I get on here. Like so. Why wouldn't I do that? And free money. Now, if I could make some millions out this motherfucker, oh yeah, I'm gonna put in overtime, definitely for sure. Niggas looking like I had it wrong. Now them niggas know I had it right. Tell you that that mixtape motivated the fuck out of me. Like knowing I was on the right path. Like shit, just all I had to do was just do this shit every day. Like all I had to just focus on like me and like my shit. No, don't focus on the world. Don't worry about the world, cause that shit ain't paying you. So you learn a lot from music if you listen to the right people. If you listen to bullshit rap all day, that ain't gonna help you manifest no shit. Like then, like you just wasting your time. Like shit, motherfuckers need to listen to something that's gonna motivate them to get some money. Like shit. But a lot of people say, "Oh, money is the root of all evil." But I'm like, don't you work for a fucking check though? What the fuck? You ain't gonna fucking work to like put yourself in a position where you don't have to work for a check. Like, and the checks just flow in. People be tripping. Like, talking about they content with what they got, knowing they hate everything about their life. Like, they didn't want to criticize rich people for wanting to keep their money. Like, what the fuck? Man, when I get my billions, I'm gonna of course donate. I'm gonna of course donate hella money to charity. But as far as like a motherfucker telling me what I need to do with my money, like I need to pay this amount of taxes. Fuck no, I'm trying to save as much as I can. Like do what I want to do with it. I don't want nobody to tell me what to do with my fucking money. Like, but most people don't think that. They're like, oh, since they got all those billions, they need to redistribute all the money to the fucking world. But if you do that in 10 years, that money will go right back into those same people's hands. Watch. Oh boy, I ain't got it. It ain't gonna happen. So I'm talking about ain't nothing to watch about. Like shit. Who's a big Manchester fan? He is an inspirational. Hey, so I might need to check him out if he's an inspiration. Like if he inspiring people to get up out the hood, become something, get some money. Shit, I'm all for it. That's what Nipsey about. But it's a Nipsey in every neighborhood, low key. They just probably not can't put their music in the words, or they can't do it like he did it. But they doing it in their own way. Like they motivating and inspiring people on their own too. So to say there'll never be another Nipsey, that'll be like, well, of course, because that's him. But to say there'll never be somebody like him, like that's kind of false. Cause I already see myself like him. Like, so how would that? What the fuck? I know, like I'm on that path. I'm on that level. Shit, I done read the books he done read. I done read more. I ain't gonna say I done read more books than him because I don't know that, but I done read my fair share of books, like off the strength of like even when I started listening to Nipsey Hussle, I was already on my path. He just motivated me to let me know I was on the right path because he was basically did it before me. So I'm like, shit, if all I gotta do is follow his blueprint and I'll be successful. Like that's just like the backbone to what I got going on. Like the marathon continues is like what definitely like in brain. I said in brain, but embedded in the back of my brain. All money in, no money out. Like it's embedded in me because I used to spend money like crazy. I couldn't save a dollar, a dime. Like so, all money in, no money out. Like that's an affirmation I say. Like and that's one of his slogans. So like I said, you need people who's been on this planet that did it the right way to see like how to do it, like shit, and then like form your own shit around it, like shit, and you gonna be successful as well, like shit. Then you gonna inspire people who never got a chance to hear Nipsey. Well, I know I'll be able to inspire people who never got a chance to hear Nipsey Hussle. Like so, off the strength of like he laid the blueprint for me. I'm not a musician. I'm not a rapper, so you can't say I'm copying off of him. Like shit, I'm doing my own thing. Like shit, but I am inspired by him. Like so, and I ain't ashamed to say that. And he ain't the only one. Like shit, 50 Cent inspired me. Like throughout my teenage childhood years, like 50 Cent was like the father figure I never had. Like so, but now I'm like I don't really rappers. Like it's cool. It's a few of them that I fuck with heavy. I fuck with Payroll Giovanni, Money Man, Young Dolph, and Nipsey Hussle heavy. Like those, like the four like money motivators that I listen to. But if I want to listen to some drill, I'm gonna listen to King Von. No lie, I'm gonna listen to King Von. If I listen to any type of drill music, it's him. I won't listen to Lil Durk, NBA YoungBoy. Not to say they trash or nothing, but like I fuck with Lil Baby heavy though. Like, but I don't know who they are. I can't say who they truly are. Like so, I don't know truly Payroll Giovanni or like Money Man, but I can tell through their music, like through their spirit. Like I could tap into their energy. I be tapping into their energy sometimes through off the music, and you could tell it was real and it was fake. So like I ain't gonna say what Lil Durk and what NBA YoungBoy or whoever be talking about is like fake. They not living their life. It's like I'm older. Like why would I listen to younger people? Like so. Like, exactly. So exactly, 100% true. Like shit, I stay on what I got going on, but I do like get my inspiration like from outside outlets that's inspiring people on this planet. They came here to be a muse, like to inspire people. So Nipsey was a muse to a lot of people, like where he inspired them to become their best self, like even through the slums, even through the tough situations. So I really was motivated. Like I really got motivated off his music heavy. Like I said, he got over like hundreds of interviews on YouTube. Like so, he just dropping game like I am, but it ain't nobody asking me no questions. I'm just talking. Like so, I'm trying to get to the point where I got hundreds of hours of like thousands of hours of content just on the internet where I'm giving game. Like so, once I start like monetizing off that shit, like shit, it's gonna be of course my pockets is gonna fill up even more, but I gotta put the work in right now. I gotta do it today. I can't do it tomorrow. I can't procrastinate. I can't get distracted. Like so I gotta focus on the mission, the plan, and stay on it. So getting alive every day is like part of the plan. Like so we trying to like get to them B's and them billions. Like the millions ain't enough. We're trying to get to the billions. So understanding that, like I understand, like I can't let small minor shit like distract me from the goal. Like, cause people are sent to like distract you, throw you off. They're sent here to like destroy you. Some people want to destroy you, especially when they know you somebody. They know you a chosen one. Like so, if you a chosen one, like don't let no fuck shit like relationships, uh, partner, spouse, siblings, grandma, parent, none of that. Don't let nobody distract you from the mission, like shit. Cause hey, it's not a lot of us out there, and they do be taking out them chosen ones for sure. Like, but I don't think you can. I can't say they be taking that. Let me take that back. You can't take out a chosen one. You can't. Like, if when it's their time to go, it's their time to go. Nipsey Hussle, I can't say he was still supposed to be here today, for the simple fact he was way ahead of his time. Like, super ahead of his time. Like, motherfucker still ain't caught up to what he done did. Like, so him leaving at the age of 33, Jesus died at 33. Like, so hey, that's all he needed to accomplish in that time. Like, I'm 32, like shit. Hopefully I can get past next year. But if I don't, like shit, I didn't put in hella work too. Like I didn't did hella years so much as far as the podcast and like even on YouTube, I just got hundreds of videos out there that I put out there. So I'm cool though. Even if I was to die today and I didn't reach like billionaire status, I'll be cool. Like, cause probably in like 20, 30 years, my shit will be. Like, and that's off the strength of like me having that intentions while I'm here today. Like that everything that I do, like, is gonna be very fruitful for me tomorrow. It may not pay me today, but it will eventually. So just gotta have that positive mindset. And so that shit definitely pays. There's plenty of times where didn't have I ain't had a job since 2018, but there's times where I didn't know where the money was gonna come from, but I manifested money like shit. So I be telling people, no matter what, you can always get what you want. Just don't worry. If you can't control the shit, don't worry about the shit. Most people spend a lot of time worrying about things that they can't control. My wife got this thing she said, why worry if it probably had never happened. Like, I think that came from the book from Florence Scovel Shinn, The Game of Life and How to Play It, I think. So, yeah, like shit, when I was 28, I felt like I was reborn. No lie. At the age of 28, I felt like I was reborn. Like, so I still kind of feel like I'm a baby, only being 32. So, yes, it did. There you go. But I always kind of feel like I'm being reborn, though. Like, no lie. Like, every time I go through certain situations in my life, like, I feel like I'm being reborn. Like when I did psychedelics, I did that at 29, so felt like I was reborn then. And like when I did shrooms last year, shit, I was 31. Like so, I always feel like I'm hitting the restart button. Like even though on the outside looking in, it seemed like I'm just going forward. Like I done started over hella times. Like so, you people just don't see it. Like because they just see the work that I'm putting out, like in general. But within, oh yeah. One thing I didn't do is give up though. For sure, I just kept pushing forward. Like, and that's what separates people. Some people just never start. Like shit, so they give up by not even trying. Me, I'm willing to try. I'm willing, even if I fail that first time, I'm gonna try again. Even if I fail that second time, I'm gonna try again. Like, cause that's what Earth is about. Shit. These tests is always gonna be like repeated if you don't pass it, and if you pass a test, you're gonna just be there's gonna be another test in front of you. Like so, understanding that, like knowing like I'm gonna always be tested by the universe. I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna just always try to pass these tests like the first time, like, cause I ain't trying to keep getting held back. There's motherfuckers who've been passing the same test since they was 18 and they fucking 50. Like so, they've been flunking, and like they never will. They'll die and reincarnate and like still be stuck on that test. Like so, I tell people that's the trap. That's hell right there. Like reincarnation when you don't learn your lesson, and you fucking gotta come back and like repeat the same test that you experienced. Especially if you've been through a lot of fuck shit too. Like, so me in my life, from the time I was a baby to 18, or shit, not just 18, but I say from 1 to 25. If I had to repeat that shit 10 more times through reincarnation, I would be mentally in, like, I would be like, I, ain't no telling, because I didn't, that shit is not something I want to keep experiencing over and over and over and over. Like, so, my goal is, like, not my goal, but I realize the secret to, like, escaping reincarnation is, like, basically telling the truth, like telling the secrets of earth, like shit, like walking your path, knowing who you are, waking the fuck up. Like, so even a lot of people who wake up, they still get stuck in reincarnation because they don't evolve. Like, you're supposed to continue to just keep evolving to you eventually, like, you you're too powerful for this planet. The water, new light, new positive mindset, new goal. Exactly. That's when I was 28. That's how I was seeing life. Like, really, the same path I went down. Like, so before I was all my teenage years, I'll say 18 through 28. Those 10 years, I was fucking up, making bad decisions. 18 to 28. Then from 28 to now, what, 4 years? I've been like fixing that. So just imagine the next 10 years, and I'm on this trajectory. Like, so, I've already cleaned up my shit from the past 10 years. I fixed that. I'm not still stuck and like regretting like how my life was in the first 10 years of like my adulthood. Like, so for me to be 4 years in, almost 5 years in, on the next 10 years of me being an adult, I'm like, man, this is fun. It's gonna be fun, bro. I'm gonna really get some shit in life. I'm really gonna manifest some shit in life, man. That's why I said I still feel young, like, cause when you look at life like that, like in increments, it's like shit. I still got a long way to go, especially if I do this shit right and I ain't gotta worry about no dying early, cause I already cleared up my karma from other lifetimes. My last life, I died at 27, so I passed that. Like, so, my whole thing is just keep doing, living right. But even if it's my time to go, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be happy with it, cause I know even if I was to reincarnate my next life, I'll start off I'll start off already being woke. I'll start off already with having this mindset. So if me reincarnating and like being a child and staying like this and just evolving more, man, if I was to really come back my next lifetime, it'd be like a cheat code. It'd be low key, I'll be a child phenom, like where I'm doing shit like Jesus off the strength, like, cause I know I'll consciously evolve to where I'm on that past that Christ conscious level. Like, so, man, like I ain't even trying to play that game. Like, I felt like that's cheating. That's real cheating. Nipsey probably like did some shit like that, or because he was young and he was conscious, so that means in his last lifetime he was already like woke, already figured it out. So once he came back in this time, like he was like, "Hey, let's go!" Like, ain't no wasting time. Like, so by the time he was 33, he look what he did. Shit's gonna last forever. So shit, do I want to come back and do it like Nip did it? But nah, fuck that. I got it. This my last go round. Like, I'm tired of this game. Like, they ain't added no new shit yet. Ain't no new patches been updated in the game recently, so fuck this shit. I'm out. Well, that's why I'm gonna do this shit up big. What I'm telling you, if y'all watch me just for like the next 10 years, you gonna be like, man, this dude really created an empire. Like, he really did that shit. Like, I'm telling you, like, cause I've already seen it. I've already seen like before I got to where I am now, like I'm almost at 30K subscribers. It was times where I only had 1,000 subscribers, but I seen where I was today. Like, I seen the views coming in. Like, so I wasn't too like. I mean, I was super excited when I started blowing my channel started blowing up, but it wasn't like I wasn't. I didn't see it coming. I already seen it coming. I even told myself, I said, Kenneth, all you got to do is be consistent. Post a video every single day, and you gonna blow up. I knew that. All I just had to do was do it. So once I started blowing up, like within like, cause it's only been like 100 some days since I've been posting every single day. Like got up what 28,000 subscribers, almost 10 million views, like in 100 days. Like so, it's 365 days in a year. I'm only what a third in or one third in, yeah. So this is really just the beginning. Even though I've been talking and like conversating on the internet since 2018, like y'all really only seeing the true beginning of like my this YouTube shit. So it's gonna be some ups and downs, but I'm prepared for it because I've been built for my whole journey up until this point now. Like so, I've been going through just ups and downs. So there's nothing outside of me that I can't handle because I'm 32. Like literally, I done seen damn near it all. So they say when you get to the age of 40, that's when you actually seen it all. So I'm 8 years away from 40. Like so, I still do got a lot of living to do, but at the same time, I feel like I've advanced spiritually past 40. So I feel like I done seen it all technically, like even at 32, because I feel like if I was to give my spirit a age, I'm like, man, I'm thousands of years old. Like so, the information that's within me, like, psh, there's no wonder people is tuned in from London to hear me talk. Like, think about it. It's like a room. Like I'm talking to like, if we was literally in a room physically, I could fill up a room just off my conversation. Cause my lives get an average of 500 views like within 24 hours. So that's like having 24. I mean, 500 people sit in a room have listen to me having a conversation, like shit around that. Like so that's a lot of people. Like so shout out to Swag in your mouth coming through. Like that's a lot of people, technically. My white boyfriend. Hey, I fuck with my white boys too, for sure. I mean, in the military, like those were definitely the ones who had my back. Shit, my favorite teacher of all time is my third grade teacher named Miss Buchanan, who's white. She taught me about Egypt and shit, and the pyramids and King Tut. All my other black teachers taught me about slavery and shit. Like, what the fuck? So people could never like turn me against white people. Like people, and I'll never be on like no Black Lives Matter shit. Like low key, that's not me. The motherfuckers be scamming. Not all of them, but the motherfuckers who getting paid, yeah, they definitely be scamming. Yeah, the military is like we all green. Once you realize this shit ain't about no fucking race, like, hey, I appreciate you coming through, Nathaniel. I got a cousin he always wants to hang out who lives in Vegas. I've never like took a chance to hang out with him yet. Might need to give him a shot. He knew my dad. He grew up with my dad. And he'd be like, "Man, I got some stories about your dad." And I'm like, I really don't care about the stories. Like, it can't benefit me. I definitely, like I said, what's the soccer? Does Cristiano Ronaldo play for Manchester? Because I literally recently seen him with some like awards, and he was saying like it's not. It's yeah, it's good to have awards, but it's nothing better like than like the team winning. So I'm aware of like worldly shit, but I try like really just to focus on like what I got going on. Like I don't really be trying to focus on the world. It's just there. Like if I get on social media, it's there. So like I have no choice but to be informed. Like, that's what the like people who have people confuse me when like they don't do research for themselves. Like I said, they be quick to call some shit fake and like they never do the research themselves. And I'm like, man, that's I see why Thanos and like Ultron wanted to wipe these motherfuckers out. Cause y'all like I ain't gonna say y'all, but it's people out there like that's just like you illiterate motherfucker. You got a supercomputer in your hand that you don't utilize to get paid from, you don't utilize to learn from. Like all you do is waste your fucking time. Like so I'm like, man, y'all need to be like, man, I see why people be having those plans to like just wipe out half the fucking world. So I'm like, cause half the world is asleep already, wasting up time, space, and energy. Like off the strength they would never like want to be woke. They'd never want to learn why they on this fucking planet. They're just here to fucking waste time. I'm like, yeah, literally wasting space. So not to say I'll get to that elite level and be like, yeah, let's cut these motherfuckers. I ain't gonna do that. I'm more of an empath, but like I said, I understand like the bad guy. I fuck with rugby though. Like watching rugby on fucking ESPN, that should be lit. Like definitely shout out to the rugby players. Rugby is more like football out here. Like even though like y'all call soccer football, rugby is more like our football. But it's more like that shit is more manly to me. Rugby is definitely more manly than football out here. I never want to play that shit though. I want to see people play it, but I wouldn't want to play it. The page was rolling. Oh yeah, I definitely just know I gotta stick to this every day. Like, and like I said, it's nothing for me to get on here and talk. Like, even when I don't have nothing to talk about, I eventually talk about something. Like, cause I literally, the only reason you seeing the title saying "Chosen Ones Tap In," I ain't got shit to talk about. I thought people was gonna help me talk about some shit, but I just been like naturally just talking. Yeah, them rugby players do be seeming like they kind of angry. Like I ain't daddy issues and shit, mommy issues. But what makes people want to play throw football, pigskins, and bang each other around like shit? I used to think that shit was fun too, but now I'm older. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that shit. I'll be in pain for weeks. But that's because I don't be working out enough. I don't stretch enough. I could be doing more yoga though. That's what I'm kind of into: yoga, meditation, and shit. Instead of like lifting weights and running, fuck all that. I need to get on that though. The yoga, at least I meditate every day, so that ain't something I really need to work on. But something really like it. I was just playing on that shit though, but still, it's it looks fun to play. People need to fight themselves. Actually, no, they don't. They need to stop fighting themselves because that's what it is. Motherfuckers be internally fighting themselves and keeping themselves back and be blaming the world and be pointing fingers at everybody else, but won't look at the motherfucker in the mirror that's stopping them from being their best self. I told myself, I said, Kenneth, get the fuck out the way. If you're not gonna fucking help, get your bitch ass out the way and let me do it. See, now you're talking to Mr. Perfect. But Kenneth is like the procrastinator. Like Kenneth is like the one that wants everything handed to him. But you got Mr. Perfect who like, nah, let's get this fucking work out. I think I'm very handsome. Like basically, I ain't gonna say Mr. Perfect. I'm gonna say you got the handsome God here, because Kenneth is a fucking. I ain't gonna talk down on him. I don't want him to come through. Like that's some crazy shit, right? Where I got different consciousness within myself. But yeah, you got Kenneth, Kenny, Mr. Perfect, Mr. Perfect, and Handsome God. I'll say they the same person. But Kenny is an asshole. Ken is cool. It's a bunch of us, so you never know who he's gonna get on the conversation. That's why they gonna like try to keep me out of presidential office. All this drip with this shit. They gonna find some shit from like 10 years ago. Like this motherfucker is crazy. Put this bitch in the hospital. Like, but nah, fuck that shit. I'm ahead of my time. I already know that too. And motherfuckers be thinking what I be saying, but they be like, I don't know why people front like that. Motherfuckers be so against you, and they be low key like be like champion. Like, yeah, I wish I could do say that. Like, man, stop being a little bitch. Say that shit. The fuck? People gonna talk shit about you regardless, no matter what. No matter who you are, people are already like fucking talking shit. Or some of them people talking good things. Not all of them talking shit, but still, fuck what anybody got to say, good or bad. Focus on you. Start being selfish. I be telling my wife all the time, you need to be selfish. Put yourself first, cause I definitely put myself first. Like, you know, it's not nothing negative or what I'm talking about or doing, but overall, I put myself first because how am I gonna be the best husband for you if I don't work on myself? Like so, and I always gotta work on myself. I'm never 100% like Mr. Perfect, so it's just something I'm working towards, right? Damn, you broke all them fucking bones. Oh, anger kid. Yeah, man. So when you get older, your body just gonna be fucked. Niggas to each other. Yeah, I got that's why I got like out musician shit in my past life, man. I'm like I be trying to low key compete. But I have to get myself out of because that be another consciousness within me trying to compete. Then I have to check myself like, hey, the fuck you competing for? Like shit, because when you trying to compete with somebody, you already losing. Like so, I gotta check myself damn near every day. Riddle with let's go. I be having, I'm telling you, shit. If y'all was to hear a conversation with me just within myself, I'm like this motherfucker. They say it's a fine line between genius and insanity. I think so. I just can't hide my shit though. Like I try, I think I hide it pretty well, but shit, when I'm smoking and like shit, that's just start to come out. Like I don't know, like, and I don't try to hide it either. Like when I'm on the internet, cause like it's like what the fuck I need to hide it for? I'd rather people see my like true self. Like, but when I'm in public, shit, you think I be fucking having conversation with myself out loud? No, cause I used to see people in my hood who I thought were crackheads. I'm like, this motherfucker crazy talking to himself. Now look at me, fucking 32 years old, fucking having cussing myself out and shit. Like, fucking crazy. Hey, really appreciate that. I probably need to be in school. I probably need to be a professor or something, low key. Like, that's why I'm teaching. But at the same time, like they'll probably be trying to ban my ass. Like this motherfucker, this. shitting on everybody's beliefs. Like, but I don't be trying to. I be just fucking just. I'm like fucking Rick of Rick and Morty, like low key. But I don't get drunk and shit like that. But I smoke weed like that. Like so. I started watching that shit. I'm like, oh shit, this shit is on another level. I tried to watch that shit on psychedelics. Like I watched it before psychedelics. No, I think I was just kept seeing Rick and Morty everywhere. Then I end up taking psychedelics, and they just stood out even more. So I started watching Rick and Morty after that. Like, then I'm like, oh shit, this motherfucker kind of remind me of myself. I support man damn belief. Shit, I support everybody beliefs, honestly. Shit. The fuck? Why do we all need to be thinking and acting like each other? No, fuck that shit. That's some 1984 shit. And that's the book I'm talking about, not the year. I'm pretty sure I'll be a good professor too, but would they allow me to smoke? Like, so if I can't smoke, then fuck that shit. Yes, and that's why I'm like, shit. I have to get out and like shine my light, cause if I don't, like, shit, it's more people like me. They just be thinking they gonna get killed, like if they pop their head out. But I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm like what's one of those whack-a-mole shit? Have like ducking and shit. Like, fuck that shit. You can't take me out, honestly. Shit, when it's my time to go, I'll be happy to go. Like, shit, the fuck. One thing I ain't gonna do is whack myself though. Fuck that shit. But if it's my time to go tomorrow, I ain't gonna cry about that shit. Like, but I'm gonna be like, hey, fuck it, let's go. 'Cause I'm gonna be going somewhere else. It's gonna be like Star Trek with me, bitch. Adios. Like, shit, I got a ship waiting for me right now. Like, shit. Nah, I'm gonna live out this motherfucker because it's fun right now. I get to like do this. Like, this is literally fun. Like, at first I used to think people would like say, "Oh, I'm crazy" or something like off my beliefs, but I stopped thinking that after I did my podcast. But it's a difference like getting on live and saying that same thing. So what I do in my free time, what you do in your free time has nothing to do with it. True. Bro has more than a regular purpose. All right. Shout out to Ken coming through, Ken Stokes. Hey, that's what like this is basically my purpose. Like, so shit. Once I start getting paid off of it, I'm like, shit, y'all gonna see me just do this shit more low key. Like, it's gonna like, okay, now, even though I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but when that first check come through off the strength of like just me being consistent every day, like me telling myself, okay, if you see other people blow up just off like posting on YouTube every day, and you watch other people on YouTube every day, you can fucking do it. So, hey, I'm doing it. So, don't ask anyone that. But like I said, I know I'm on the right path because like shit, I get told that I'm on the right path. My I have you know how have y'all ever seen the movie 6 Degrees of Separation, or have you ever heard the term like, she you always like 6 people away from like anybody in the world? Like, so, Magic Don Juan, my cousin's wife is his niece. Like, so yeah, my cousin who's a man, his wife, her uncle is Magic Don Juan. Never met him, but shit, I always felt like, hey, I'm kind of kin to him because she is. I used to always think that shit as a kid. Like, Like Chingy the rapper, if you ever heard of him, like he's like family through like marriage and shit. So I always like, yeah, that's my cousin and shit, but I never met that nigga. So in this blunt, it's three different strains. I got the Alien OG, the Outer Space, then I just got Kush. So and I have like this sip THC juice, like I had that probably like almost 2 hours ago. So that's kind of kicked in too. So I ain't take no edibles tonight because I ain't trying to be like super out there. Shit, I had some shrooms in my freezer. I lost them bitches somehow, but I was gonna take some shrooms and I was gonna like just be on here too. So hey, when I get some more shrooms, I probably microdose it. I ain't gonna fucking eat no fucking 3 grams. Fuck that shit. Cause when I like shit, if you see me on shrooms, you might oh shit, this nigga's on another level. He on another. It's another level. Oh, shit, but that should be just lasting too long. And like shit, sometimes I don't like that queasy taste when you fucking do shrooms. Like you get a queasy feeling and shit. Like so, fucking psychedelics. That shit is legal. I mean illegal. Like so, low key, I'm like stitching on myself. And I ain't got no shrooms like shit. I ain't got no shrooms. But that's something that they do need to legalize. Psychedelics. They legalize it because it expands your consciousness, and they don't want motherfuckers waking up and shit. But people gonna wake up regardless. Because I woke up before I had psychedelics, and that shit just when I woke up, I'm like, oh, I need to do psychedelics. Like so, once I tried it, I'm like, oh shit, this is definitely what I was asking for, and way more than what I asked for. But some people like they're afraid to try to do psychedelics. They'll stick to alcohol, cigarettes, and weed and beer. They'll be like, no, no. Some people fucking do Molly, ecstasy, Percocets, Xanax, codeine, all of this other shit, heroin, fentanyl, and then they'll shit on fucking psychedelics. I'm like, motherfucker, you could kill yourself off that shit, but this is gonna expand your mind and your consciousness. So motherfuckers be doing coke and shit. I'm like, I don't judge nobody for what they do, but let's get that straight. But at the same time, like, you can't judge somebody who want to expand their consciousness either. So, cause I mean, some people do shrooms and LSD just to have fun and shit, but I ain't one of them people. My trips don't ever be no just unicorns and like rainbows and shit. My shit, I be going to the deepest parts of my mind and my brain and shit. It should be scary as fuck. But I also be learning some enlightening shit too. So I don't be quick to take that shit all the time. Like I be like, fuck, I go a year before I take another psychedelic. I be straight cool with that. It ain't something I feel like, oh, I need to do this shit all the time. Like fuck no, cause I be scared to get stuck in like some psychedelic shit, just a psychedelic mindset type shit, some trippy shit, like just being stuck on some crackhead shit on psychedelics for the rest of my life. I'd be fucking pissed as fuck. I overdid that shit. That's probably why I don't be doing that shit like that. Cause I'm like low key, I don't want my mind to be like, up, now you stuck here, not knowing if shit is real or not. Shit, is some scary shit. I experienced a lot of fake shit on psychedelics that I thought was really real. And, like you couldn't tell me that shit was fake until like months later. I'm like, oh, it was just a trip. But I be trying to get my wife to do psychedelics with me. She be like, no, man, chill. Scary ass out here and shit. But I understand it because she be needing to watch me when I be tripping. So if we both tripping, who gonna watch us? But she got a twin sister who like who can watch it. So she, my wife be always trying to chicken out. Fuck that shit. I be trying to explore. I be trying to learn about myself more, honestly. Like literally, I just try to learn more about myself and just about what's outside. There you go, babe. But still, I'm just telling the truth. You don't be wanting to do psychedelics with me. You're supposed to be like star-crossed lovers and shit, exploring the universe. I be in this bitch tripping like a motherfucker. Sometimes when I be getting like taking psychedelics, I'll get in a have a thought like, damn, do I look like a crackhead to my kids? Cracking killing is the big one. Definitely should be legal. I don't fuck with crack and hair or heroin. I grew up in an era where we seen crackheads around, but we ain't fuck with them though. It's a song my wife be singing, and she know I get mad every time she sing, cause low key I got mommy issues, right? And it's the first time I heard it. It's it go like your mama's on crack rock. And when I first heard it, I think it was like last year, and it was on a movie, a documentary I seen, and she knew the song. And ever since then, like she don't say it all the time, but she'll just instantly just sing that song. And I be looking at her like, really? But she don't be. I don't think she. I don't know. She probably do that shit on purpose. Now that I think about it, like trying to keep me humble and shit. But my mom ain't on crack. She just went through her times where she was on some drugs and she wasn't looked at in the best light. Still, I ain't hear that song growing up. But when I heard it as a 30-year-old, I'm like, what the fuck? That shit kind of touched that inner kid of me. Like, I felt some type of way. So, should be weird. Like, if I'm still trying to work on this shit. Said, no, you don't. I don't know, but you know how I feel when I hear that song. So, for when you to say it, hmm. See, I be calling shit out all the time. I call out my own bullshit too on this live. See, so I can't. It ain't like I be picking on people, cause I get on my own ass. So if you ain't trying to be like around me, cause you don't want me to get on you, it's probably cause you don't want to grow. And if you don't want to grow, then that means you definitely don't need to be around. And like so, I only want people around me that wants to continue to evolve and elevate and grow. Cause can't get held back. Damn, lost 3 people to heroin. And I ain't ever had to deal with crackheads like that. But like I said, my mom was. She did have her times where she went through some shit. So I never. I seen my mom on drugs one time, and I was a grown up, and I went looking for her, and like it was like she had disappeared and like didn't ran off on me. So when I finally caught her, and I seen her, and she had came to the door. The look she had gave me, it was like, I feel like the look I gave her, like, really, bitch, like Loki and my mom. She's not like this today, but when I seen her, like, it threw me off because I never seen her on drugs. So I'm like, Like it was like that disappointment look I had, and I'm like, really, like you got me out here looking for you, and you on this shit right now. Like so, I kind of like really kind of stopped fucking with my mom after that instant. So I'm like, I always would get told she was on drugs and shit about my grandma and Gigi. Like they always throw that shit in her face. Like, but like to actually see her on that shit, like kind of like made me feel some type of way. But then I'm like, fuck it, you're a grown ass person, right? You on your journey, right? Do you like do what you gotta do? We all gotta like we all on here to like fucking learn to be who we supposed to be. Like so what she went through, like that was on her. Like so I can't really knock her for like experience what she experienced because my mom experienced some fucked up shit. Like so I understand why she went towards that route. Most people don't know her story. Most people don't know why a person even tends to go towards that route in life. They just want to judge them off the strength of like they feel like they doing better. Like so, like I said, I never really judged my mama off her lifestyle, but when I seen her on that, like it really like made me feel some type of way. Like, but now she's clean. She got I think she like worked 2 jobs, like making good money, got her own place. Like so, like fix her shit. So I'm not here talking about trying to down her, but at the same time, like this is just some shit that I experienced in my life. Like it's certain shit that I get affected by, like when I shit that I be thinking about should be on my mind. Addiction is a disease, brother. It can happen to anyone. So all these people. Exactly, like so for my mom to actually like make it out of that situation, like shit, I always like big her up for that, cause shit, some people don't make it. My little sister passed away at 24, I think, off like drugs. So to understand like she didn't make it and my mom made it, so I'm like, shit, ma, you need to be on some type of platform telling your story, cause shit, it's a lot of people that don't make it, or it's a lot of people that's going through what you went through that could be inspired off your story. Like so, she was like, I just need a big platform. I'm like, shit, all you gotta do is have your own platform. Shit, you don't need nobody else's platform. You don't want to, this is what it is. She don't want to do something and then get a little bit of views. But she get that off the strength of my brother gets millions of views. My other brother gets thousands of views. And shit, now I'm finally getting up there. Like, but still, when we had this conversation, she was asking me, Kenneth, you need to, why you not on camera? Is it something you're afraid of? And I'm like, nah, what do I need to be afraid of? Like, but it was literally like something I probably low key was like afraid. I don't know. Couldn't point it out. Because I had got on camera plenty of other times. So it wasn't nothing I was afraid of. Like, because I had already did multiple YouTube videos. I just wasn't consistent. So, like, that was my biggest issue the whole time. Like, I just wasn't consistent with posting videos, being on YouTube. But I was being consistent on being on YouTube, watching other people's shit. Like, so, like I said, I had to check myself and say, hey, is you gonna keep watching these other motherfuckers and helping them get paid, but you're not gonna do this shit for yourself? Like, so, I had to have that conversation with myself. Like, so, I had to have that conversation a couple times with myself, and it wasn't just once. So, hey, sometimes that's what it takes. It takes you to like have a conversation with yourself a few times when it finally click. Like, oh shit, like I need to stop wasting my fucking time and get on my shit. Like, so I got on my shit. So now I'm reaping the benefits, like about my channel growing and like shit. When I was first started doing lives every day, my shit would get like probably it'd probably be like one person in here, 2 people in here, and like when I finish my live, I'll probably have like 50 people that probably watch my shit. Like so, Now for like 500 people to like usually like come and check out my lives in 24 hours. Like I'm like, oh shit, just imagine if I keep doing this shit like that. 500 gonna turn into 5,000. Like so, you know, hopefully shit my lives can in the future be like shit hitting that 50K on a daily basis. So just imagine me manifesting in like 50,000 people on a daily in my lives. Just hearing me talk and have these conversations with myself. So, I mean, that's what I see for myself. I ain't gonna be surprised when it happens. So when y'all see it happen for me, like I don't want y'all to be surprised either. Like, but it ain't gonna happen overnight. Like so, it's gonna happen eventually, and that's because I see it happening for myself. And just like I could see shit happening for me, y'all could see shit happening too for y'all. So, but all you gotta do is just like work towards it. So me getting and doing this every single day, I know if I do that every day, like I'm doing my part. So the universe always gonna take care of its end on their end, or God, or whatever you want to call it. Like so, all I gotta do is do my part, and like the rest is taken care of. I ain't gotta worry about shit. I ain't gotta. I don't care about how long it take, cause shit, it took me a while to get here. Like so, and for it to seem like I'm blowing up overnight, like shit, this is really like almost 5 years in the making of like me trying to be a YouTuber. So, like for me to start in this past 100 days, for me to gain like I'll say 27,000 followers and like almost 10 million views, I'll say like I'm doing pretty well. Like as far as like this stretch right here. Like so, and like it's only the beginning, and the finish line is like shit. When I'm out this bitch, like life with TMB. Shout out to you coming through. See, that's what I used to be known as. Now the only person who like know who CJ So Cool is the person I just mentioned that. Like so, people who say who is CJ So Cool, but he's the older brother who I talked about earlier. But now I'm like my own. Imagine like shit. Every time I would drop a video or a picture or anything in my DMs, it's always people asking me about my brother. Always ask me, "Hey, can you tell CJ this? Can you send him that?" I'm like, "Do you know how irritating that got not being known for being me?" Like, so I'm like, "Fuck all that shit. Let me build something for myself, so like people can know me for Kenneth." Like, you know, for like having 27 or 28,000 plus subscribers off the strength of me doing that, and not my brother shouting me out on his YouTube channel, or not even like having any of his fan base as a part of my like support. Obviously I do, like, because people coming through, but like that's not the majority of my fan base. Like if at most that's probably like 1,000 of my subscribers came off the strength of, like, people knowing who my brother is. Like so I say as far as percentage wise, like the odds is like more like shit what I've done and what I've accomplished. Now I had those like thousands of subscribers like from 2017 to like 2022. Like so my shit, they wasn't watching my shit. As a matter of fact, my YouTube channel was like declining over the years, and my Instagram channel, I said channel, but my Instagram had went from like 34K to like 27K before it got hacked. Thanks for the moderation. Hey, shout out to you coming through, Jarvis. I was just talking about Ultron. I probably watch that when I go in the house. So I'm probably gonna get out this live now. So, yeah, I just got my cue. I seen 144 on the clock. Like so, peace. See you guys tomorrow. We out.